Cecil, do you know anyone who fought in the war 3 years ago?
I did.
Did you fight here at Vergen?
Course.
Philippa claims you know a bit about the battle.
That old kook insult, called king by some, thought that Adernians were bumpkins who'd ship bricks as soon as his troops crossed the river.
Why did he attack Edern?
According to Henselt, Upper Edern is the ancient legacy of the Kedweni crown and must be returned to the mother country. Brazen farter.
That brazen farter had a point. If you read some history, you'll know that 300 years ago this land belonged to Kedwen.
Load of crab. 700 years ago, the elves reigned here. And 1,000,000 years ago, these lands were the domain of the worms. If things worked that way, every king could invade a neighboring land and claim his right to do so because an ancestor took a dump there.
All right. Hensel wanted to conquer Upper Edern. What then?
He rolled in, got hammered, and rolled out.
Cecil, that doesn't help me much.
It wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. If I try speaking of it, I'll see it all again. I don't want.
The ghosts of the fallen fight in the mist. They turn into horrible creatures called Draugrs. Eternians, Kedweni, men, elves, and dwarves too.
Bloody hell. No peace even after death.
I want to help them, but I need to know more about the battle.
Very well. Listen. A beautiful day that grew hot later. Very hot. When Van de Grift attacked in the afternoon, he sent a dun banner at the fore. Many of our lads shit themselves at the mere sight of their standard, but we had a surprise of our own. Under the cover of night, we prepared fire pits. Our archers lit them up at the right moment. I still can't believe we managed to fool their scouts. If it wasn't for that ambush, we wouldn't be speaking today. They likely wouldn't be in Upper Edern at all. We decimated the dun banner, but that was only the beginning. Seltkirk was our commander. Everywhere he appeared, the Kedwenis gave ground. He wreaked havoc among them. Hearts rose at the mere sight of his armor. Then, Van de Grift himself entered the fray. Seltkirk met him in the middle of the field. In the end, Van de Grift killed Seltkirk. A terrible death that sent the Adernian ranks into disarray. I thought it was the end of us. Then the sky fell, as if the stars themselves had decided to avenge the death of a great knight. Fire covered the battlefield. Nobody sought the enemy. They were all looking for somewhere to flee. Yes, there were no more friends and enemies, only the living and the dead. They say it was the doing of a Kedweni sorceress who wanted revenge on Van de Grift. Could be true, as Henselt had her executed right after the battle.
Hostia, es mucha info. Y el fantasma de las catacumbas me va a preguntar por ella, tío. Es mucha data, ¿eh? Uf. ¿Cómo comenzó la batalla?
Remember anything from before the battle?
As if it was yesterday. Henselt's troops crossed the Pontard the third day after the autumn equinox. Edern had good spies, so we were ready for them, and Seltkirk lined up our troops along the hills. Our hearts rose at the sight of the banners of Vengerberg, Aldersberg and Gullet fluttering in the wind. Knights and armoured infantry side by side in our ranks. Even the peasants had their regiments. The dwarves were on the left flank. Over 5,000 strong we were. Nobody caring about race or background, like never before. Only King Demavend was missing, but he must have had more important business than defending his country.
You saw the Kedwenis cross the river?
From afar. I saw Van de Grift leading 4,000 heavily armed men. Many a heart sank when we saw the elite bearheads or the armoured banners from Ardcarrig. The Dun banner was in the middle, veterans of Brenna. As soon as he set foot on Adernian land, Van de Grift climbed a hill and surveyed the area, as if it was his fief. Son of a bitch was as sure of himself as ever. Upon spying him, I remember the dwarves all dropped their trousers and showed him their asses. Then Seltkirk stepped out in front of us. His white armor shone in the sun. We were afraid a Kedweni arbalist would shoot him, but they too stood as if frozen, and Selkirk just looked at them and bowed ever so slightly.
Hostia. Tengo que elegir una de estas dos o las dos.
You captured the Dunbanner standard?
Henselt's choice troops, and not a one survived. The visitors sent them to their deaths, refused to give them reinforcements. He was a monster in human form. The men of the Dun were real swaggerers. Killed a lot of lads, but for every Dunner, there were
Buenas,
7
mi segundo
Adanians.
cafecito.
They had no chance. Aye, we captured their standard. We buried what was left of them in the crypts beyond Vergen. Their standard lies with them. Worthy foes are to be respected, even in death.
I'm going to need that standard.
Buenas, Cero. Muchas gracias por esa sub, mi estimado. 3 mesecitos ya. Muchas gracias, hermoso. Buenas, ¿qué tal?
Did you see the duel between Selkirk and Vandergrift?
I stood half a furlong from them. Never seen a fight like it. Probably never will again. They'd already met once at a jousting tournament in Ardcarreg. Selkirk won there. He beat on the visitor so hard he broke his sword. Selkirk was a true knight, the last of his breed. Vandergrift was so pissed off after that tournament he hanged the smith who made his sword and ordered a special one from a sorcerer. I bet he cut down Selkirk with that new sword.
Vandergrift is dead. What happened to his sword?
Saskia's got it. Good thing too. Only her hand can tame the hatred enchanted in that sword. After the battle, when the flames abated, the scavengers came. They stole everything. Imagine, not a single keepsake or Selkirk in the whole of Edirn. His brother babbles something about a gauntlet, but he's a lying dog.
Remember anything from before the battle?
As if it was yesterday. Henselt's troops crossed the Pontar the
día.
3rd day after the autumn equinox. Edirn had our hearts rose at the sight of the banners of Vengerberg, Aldersberg and Gullet fluttering in the wind. Knights and armoured infantry side over 5,000 strong we were. Nobody caring about race or only King Demavend was missing. But he must have had more important.
Thanks, Cecil, that was helpful. I think I know what I need to lift the curse now.
Madame Eilhart claims you need 4 symbols. The standard symbolizes death. Vandergrift's sword stands for hatred. What about the other 2?
I have a feeling Philippa has a handle on the rest.
Here's hoping you're right.
Vale, ahora tengo que ir a hablar con el fantasmito. Vamos a hablar con este buen hombre.
Who are you, and what do you seek?
Geralt of Rivia. I seek the standard of the Dun Banner. Who are you?
Eckhart Hennessy, ensign and color-bearer of the Dun Banner, the best force to issue from the land of Kedwen.
Me serán... Hombre, no sé. Gerardo ya está muerto, como quien dice.
You may not remember me, but I remember you.
Where from?
I served in the Dun Banner.
Liar.
I fought beneath its standard at Brenna and at Vergen.
The Battle of Brenna. The Nordlings, shoulder to shoulder against the Black Ones. The Redanians, led by De Ruyter on the right. The Talus leading Temeria on the left. A splendid sight, was it not?
El Natalio. Yo para mí que el Cecil dijo que estaban todos luchando codo con codo y como que daba igual, ¿eh? Dijo algo así como no importaba, no importaban las razas y tal. Die.
You're mistaken. The Redanian regiments were on the left. The Temerians took the center.
Correct. Perhaps you speak the truth.
Try me again.
Tell me, for this you must know. Who was chief commander of the Nilfgaardians at Brenna?
Hostia. No, pues había acertado por chiripa. Kohernor. Me suena Me suena Kohernor porque había hecho el chiste en mi cabeza de coger. Exacto, con solo cuidarte así como mejoras bastante en ese sentido. O sea, tanto física como mental. ¿Sabes ese dicho de mens sana in corpore sano? Totalmente. Los romanos hablando factores desde el año 1000 antes de Cristo. No tengo dudas. Sí, hombre, o sea, claro. Es que, mira, o sea, lo ideal... Es que lo ideal y lo perfecto es comer bien siempre. Pero mira, al fin y al cabo, una dieta balanceada no solo son buenos hábitos, sino también es comer lo que quieres. Lo que te hace feliz, ¿verdad? Que en ese sentido, claro.
Menno Cohorn.
I'm beginning to believe you. Menno Cohorn, the repulsive head hound of the Nilfgaardian pack, but a great commander. He will again let the Nordlings' blood. Would you agree?
No dijo Cecil que estaban todos muertos. Que los enterraron. Que cogieron. Dijo algo como. Cogieron las cosas y lo metieron ahí.
He vuelto. ¿Qué aconteció con el Geraldo Riveras, domador de corazones salvajes, cara con monóculo, copa de vino?
Que estamos domando muertitos. ¿Qué tal, David? ¿Cómo está? ¿Ya está en casita? Es que aparentas menos años. Y eso también, como que aparentas menos, en verdad. Pasando de los 60, tuvo 3 hijos más en su colección. Anda, no pierda el tiempo. Es verdad. No pierda el tiempo, ¿eh?
Your memory has suffered after death. Cohorn perished at Brenna.
You are vigilant. I could not deceive you.
Because I am of the Dun Banner.
Perhaps you did fight at Brenna. It was so long ago I may have forgotten you. But Vergen is another matter.
I can't answer for the state of your memory.
You are right. Memory often fails us after death. I cringe to admit I've forgotten who commanded the armies during the Battle of Vergen. Perhaps the most important day of my life. And the last. Be so good as to remind me.
Mira, de estos dos me acuerdo, o sea, porque es que, mira, eso ya quedó en mi cabeza para la posteridad. Son estos dos güeyes. Dicen que tengo 3 o 4 años más. Pero bueno, claro, eso también depende, no sé. Ya en casita. Muy bien, muy bien. De nada, que le vaya muy bien el día de hoy.
Seltkirk led Eddern. Vandergrift led us.
Well done. Not all know that. Some believe that the kings commanded the armies during the battle, or that their mages did.
Do you believe me yet?
Not yet, but I shall when you tell me how you survived the massacre at Vergen.
No, porque este era un sádico, ¿no? Este no era el sádico que se convirtió en un duargi. ¿Te imaginas que acierto datos random al azar totalmente. Que le perdonara a no sé. Siento un cosquilleo en la cola. Bueno, mira, ya fue.
Most of the Dun died. The survivors withdrew south. The fires blocked our way back to our lines and we fell into Biggerhorn's trap.
I know, the cowardly bastard. You have proven that you served in the Dun banner.
May I take the standard?
Why do you desire it so?
It will help me lift a curse.
Curses are of no import to me.
This one should be. It has stopped King Henselt's army from advancing.
The unicorn has returned.
He stands at Vergen's gates. With your help, he'll avenge the Dun banner.
The standard lies in the sarcophagus. Take it. You will also find the sword of Colonel Gondor. Now, it is yours.
Thank you.
Where have you left your mount?
There are no horses here.
True. I would gladly drink with a brother from Brenna, but I am an unfettered soul. Strong drink means nothing, tastes of nothing. Perhaps I miss that most in death. Guard the standard. I grasped it firmly even as they cut me down.
Vamos a hablar con Filipa. Duendes del orto, tío.
Don't let her die, Vatkin.